This episode of Timber Talk is brought to you by SRB Field Rests, Bugnasty Deer Lure, Farmers Feeding the Hungry, ScentBlender. Now let's start the show with your host, Paul Scheer.
Folks, welcome to the show. You all know my co-host, Chris Highline, the one and the only.
Shade's back.
Got the shade man back, huh?
Y'all missed me. I know you always do.
You got a bunch of shades on the side, don't you? You got like different ones for different days. I know. It's kind of like what's that cop show they used to have with Chachi? Was it Chachi or Chips? There it is.
That's an old school one there.
That's old school.
I don't remember that one.
Little aviator. You know who else wears aviators? Biden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he must be your hero.
That's what I'm doing. I'm hiding my me just staring off into space and not knowing where I'm at. And that's what I'm doing.
Are you?
Yep.
Well, today's show, folks, there's like another controversy, another big thing that's happening here. So we wanted to hit it since we were talking about it. Well, me and Chris were talking about it. You guys going to hear our opinions and stuff. What's going on is West Virginia will be reducing or stopping stocking trouts. They're going to
more.
No, well, not no more. They're just going to start in certain counties. And don't ask me which counties because there's a bunch of them. They're only going to be stocking here and there. So here's the deal. Let me read what I got here. So West Virginia will be reducing or stopping stocking trout in the waters with known population of endangered. Ready? You ready for this? I'm ready. Crayfish.
Harder fish.
So the federal wants to stop this. Okay. So normally what happens, I did some research on this. So what normally happens is every 3 years, the state of West Virginia gets $19 million grant for stocking trout. And it normally extends, like I said, 3 years. But this year, the federal government, not the government, not the state government.
Not state government.
Not state government.
The federal government.
The federal is saying, well, you have endangered crayfish or mud bugs, okay? Wherever, if you're in Louisiana, it's mud bugs. So what they're doing is they want to stop the stocking because of these endangered crayfish. I think some of them are called candy darters. One's a guy and Dottie. Some big sandy crayfish. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Candy darter is endangered, Paul. You should feel ashamed.
Well, I should feel ashamed.
That you want actual trout to fish and kill those poor baby carnivores.
I'm really upset about that. So we'll keep hitting with that, right? Yeah. So the waters will be stocked with the same amount of trout they have always received during the years past, but the stocking will be done between November 1st and April 30th.
Right.
Okay. So I believe that's only going to be one or two stocking.
Well, how many stock do they normally do?
Once again, we never know. And even the
they don't really
DNR said that too. We don't even know.
The thing is, I don't think they like telling you exactly when and where they're going to stock. Because I remember.
Bullshit. It's on the website on DNR.
Oh, well, normally.
They'll tell you.
I always find it funny because in Seneca Lake up in Ohio, people will just literally sit there and wait for the fish to be released, and they'll just no time to fish them out.
That happens here too. Released. They'll sit there, they'll pull their chairs out, their coolers.
They'll sit there and wait.
And they'll just wait for them to start flinging it out, and people start casting it out. I'm like, what the hell's the point?
Kind of takes away the point.
That's kind of like the, whatever. So anyway, let's keep going on this. So they will receive, like I said, November 1st through April 30th, okay? Now, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has agreed to stop stocking brown trout, okay, in streams where the two endangered crayfish, mud bugs, were known to live. The state federal authorities reached an agreement which allowed only for stocking of rainbow trout in those waters. since it was agreed, rainbow trout do not prey on crayfish.
Okay.
Let me ask you.
We like the rainbow.
Here's the thing. So we got brown trout and we got rainbow trout. So you mean to tell me a brown trout?
Brown trout's not going to do it. That's what they said.
They're not going to do it. They're going to do it, but the rainbow won't.
Rainbow.
But it's the same species.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just a color thing. Maybe they're going racial with it a little bit. And they got the rainbow pride flag. So it's a rainbow trout, and they're like, the rainbow trout's okay.
Right.
Maybe they're going racist with the brown trout.
Even though I'm gonna put some stuff into that here in a minute. I'm gonna get to that. I swear to God. I'm just reading what these all said, right?
We're joking, of course, and listening for those that you're in your little
fuck
cage.
your feelings. I don't give a shit. So in addition, the DNR, all right, will partner up with West Virginia University to do a trout food habitat study. All right. Okay. DNR officials believe the study will confirm that the trout are a threat to endangered species and will be shared the findings on the USFWS. So DNR believes that the brown trout are the bad trout. Okay. So we're going with you got the rainbow, and then you got the what's up, brown.
So apparently the brown trout's no good.
So the brown's got to go down. According
to the federal government, you've heard it here first that they do not like brown trout in West Virginia.
So let me take my old eyes out. I have to. I'm not trying to be like, we had this discussion when I pulled my glasses out. Highline's like,
what the hell?
What the hell? Are you trying to be like Dan Rabbit? Or what is
Dan Rabbit? That's what you're thinking about. Yeah.
He's trying to be like that. No, idiot. I can't see when I read. Okay. So the governor also made this announcement around Groundhog Day or something like this shit. So he started, and I want to start going down the line here because there's a lot of stuff we're going to hit and probably make fun of. So the governor started with, it's all Biden's fault.
Right. So it's all
Biden's fault.
Current administration's fault.
Now, even though this makes me throw up in my mouth, I'm not going to say this is Biden's fault. Yes, it's federal. It's federal. And federal has all these PETA lovers, all these, what are they called? ACP, animal something, save the whales kind of people that's in the federal that get a lot of money for these I guess causes or whatever the hell they do with their daily, they get all these grants and shit and they can stop them. But the thing is, what have we talked about from day one on Timber Talk? There's too much goddamn political bullshit in everything, right? So the first thing the governor says, it's Biden.
Right.
Because there's election coming. Right. So he's going to use that and say, it's because, Biden wants to, stop whatever. We're a Republican state or whatever the hell he wants to try to come up with. Right. That's horse shit. That's horse shit, in my opinion. Why would you start out saying that? Instead of saying the truth is that, the federal, yes, it wasn't Biden. We're not talking about taxes, groceries, gas prices, all this stuff. We're talking about
fish.
Fish.
Well, here's the main problem with this whole situation. And it's really simple is why are we relying on the federal government to do anything?
It should be government.
It shouldn't be federal state government.
It should be
money.
State government.
Yeah, it should be state government money that handles state government stuff. Right. These are fish that are being released in our environment.
Right.
For our people to fish. Why is the federal government giving us money for this at all anyway? Because again, that's how the federal government controls these. Newsflash, folks. This is how the federal government controls your state government. Because the bottom line is they'll just say, well, we'll cut your funding. That's also how they control schools. They'll say, well, if you're not teaching our certain curriculum, we're just going to pull your funding. And then all of a sudden, that curriculum's getting pushed. This is the same thing. We're going to cut your grant away because we don't want this stupid, we don't want the trout fish because of this, endangered shit.
No, bullshit.
And they're using their leverage to prevent it from happening.
But here's the thing. Every year, we pay into conservation.
We do.
Right? Every year, every man and woman, it doesn't matter what age, pays into fishing, hunting, so they can fish trout, so they can fish whatever the hell their flavor is.
Exactly.
We pay into this.
Yes.
So my opinion is, okay, and every year, now I've bitched about this before. Well, maybe we bitched about it in the truck or something. Every year.
A lot of conversations in the truck.
A lot of conversation. We have, we should have a camera in there.
Yeah.
Probably not. But I say it every year, the price of licenses, whether you just buy a fishing or you buy a sportsman or you just buy hunting and the tags or whatever, are going up every year. That they're going up $1, they're going up $2. Well, it adds up, right?
Of course it does.
So we're paying into this conservation, all the stuff, and some of us donate. Because at the end, after you they say, would you like to donate, $2 or $3 of conservation? Yeah. I do it because I believe that conservation is important.
Of course it is.
For, wildlife.
And the next generation after us that'll be taking over.
I believe that the state government, should be involved with the hunting, the DNR, because, they balance the laws. They make sure the places are stocked. They make sure, people are doing what they're supposed to. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But the problem I have is we pay into this shit.
Right.
For the stocking.
Yeah.
So all these years, we've been paying into this stuff for stocking. Here's my question. I'm not trying to go against the Gov. I like the Gov to a certain point, whatever.
I love the Gov.
You like the Gov. He's a outdoors person. He loves to hunt. He loves to fish. I respect him for that. I did not vote for him because of that, but it kind of helped a little bit. Yeah. Anyways, let's go back to this. Being said that, I feel, where's the money that we've been paying into? So we've been getting this a grant every 3 years to stock.
Well, this goes back to what I was just saying. The bottom line is government spend money. Okay. They're not known for being fiscal. Granted, this current administration is a little bit better about it. Hence we got surplus.
$19 million? 3 years?
Yeah.
How much money? We don't really know. That's a lot of damn fish. Yeah. Of course, it does pay into the DNR officers, which is good.
Right.
But here's the thing. $19 million, I know damn well I paid every year, and I know there's tons of people in West Virginia that hunt and fish. So just because we don't have a grant of $19 million, so we're just not going to stock the fish. Much.
The thing is, because what I'm trying to explain is the money that you're paying in and that everyone is paying in for the fees and all that is going to something.
Oh, it's going somewhere.
And when they budget all this out, they go, okay, we're going to have $19 million extra dollars a year, so let's go ahead and just do the fish thing. I'm guaranteed that all the other money that everyone's contributed is going to something else. I know they just like to release some goddamn fucking elk all over the place.
Coyotes.
And the coyotes all over the place. So maybe that's where your fucking money went, was instead of going to the goddamn fish, it's going to stupid fucking coyotes all over the thing.
Maybe it goes to brand new trucks for DNR.
Oh, yeah, that too,
or someone else. It goes to someone else.
But the point is, because they have allocated that money to those items, whatever they be, coyotes, elk, trucks, whatever, they have budgeted that $19 million, so they're counting on that $19 million. So when the federal government goes, oh, get screwed, now they're out $19 million.
I get that, but here's my point. I don't give a shit. I pay into
we have a surplus,
stock it.
They should fix it.
Right? Am I wrong, ladies and gentlemen? I paid into this, stock it. Right?
The bottom line
Am I ignorant for saying that?
The state government has money I know they have more than enough money to do this. But I mean, I understand where they're coming from, which is it's politically motivated. They're trying to punish the state, and they're trying to use stupid means
by
to do
hunting and fishing. You're going to punish the state?
Of course, they're going to punish. Well, you're talking about right now. They're punishing people in West Virginia right now.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Access to fish that you're normally supposed to have access to.
Let me get this straight. A homeless person gets a free cell phone, or someone that jumps across the damn border gets a money card, cell phone, freaking clothes, whatever, the food, every freaking day, a hotel room.
Right.
But yet they're worried about my hunting or my fishing or our hunting and our fishing.
And here's
so you're going to tell me this shit?
Yeah, that's the way it is. And here where it gets even more fun is this person that probably made that decision wasn't elected, wasn't appointed by us. It was basically some bureaucrat in federal government said, you know what, I'm going to make this call just because I want to make this call.
You think?
I guarantee it. I don't think it was Biden sitting in the office saying, you know what, I'm going to do this, but I guarantee Biden had someone appointed.
I don't know
Well, bottom line is he had someone appointed who oversees this and who says, okay, I'm going to make the call on this. And they did. And that's what
here's the thing. Here's the thing that really pisses me off. What the gov should have said was, look, we had a grant. We're not going to get it. So this is why we're stocking. But once again, elections are coming. And then he just wants to throw in that card. Hey, it was Biden that did it. It's Biden. Knock the shit off and just be a man and tell the truth. Be like, look, man, we ain't got the money. And then we're all going to sit there and go, well, wait a minute. So we
can't say we don't have the money because we're on a surplus.
Here's the other thing. Potholes ain't getting fixed. All this other shit ain't getting fixed. So where's the money? So if they got 19 million every 3 years, okay, I don't know how long it accumulated. Every 3 years, they get 19 million. Right. So they only stock, I know for a fact, they only stock like 3 times in our area, 3 or 4 times. And I don't know how many percentage of fish they throw in there. You don't know.
Well, this, I don't think even affects our area compared to like
it does, part of the state. But it affects other counties.
Dramatically more.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. See, what's happening now is you start following, you folks are following us on podcasts. Now, what did I say is going to change come September? The reducing of deer, right? Yeah. The antler deer, right? Yeah. So they're starting with that shit, right? So now they're starting with the trout.
Right.
Next year is going to be turkey, or it's going to be
probably
rabbit, or it's going to be squirrel. It's going to be something stupid. Right? So they're going to start with that bullshit. When do we stop? When do we say enough is enough on this shit?
Well, the bottom line is until you have someone that takes up the issue in Congress and pushes back. Now, the thing is, this, as you guys know, because again, you're not, unless you're in a cardboard box somewhere, or your head's under the ground, as they always say, or you're buried in a cave for the last 3 years. There are a little more pressing matters at hand at this moment. So if it's not going to be on the top of the list of let's go to this, when we're literally talking about, you got the Ukraine war and you got all this political world stuff going on, this just falls through the cracks. And these people, especially the federal government, push their objectives through because, again, if you're looking over here at this, then you're not looking over here at that.
That's true.
And that's what they're doing. And like you said, you can call it out, but until the people say, hey, this isn't right, I want this fixed, it's going to keep falling through the cracks until it gets to that point. And again, seeing that as just the trout now and just a little bit of antler deer, it's going to be a long time before the people actually rise up and do anything about it.
Well, here's the other thing. It's not just federal. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the show, but it could be, like these PETAs and all these other people, these freaks, these freaks that, Subi drivers or whatever the hell they are. Like I said, they get the grants and then they start saying, oh, we're going to stop this for crayfish. Let me explain something too. The other thing that I read about that, how they were saying it's just the brown trout, not the rainbow trout that eat the crayfish.
Right.
I got news for you. It's the catfish and the bass that eat the crayfish.
Right.
So if one species of trout, rainbow, golden, doesn't eat the crayfish, then the brown doesn't eat the crayfish either. If it's the same thing, it's the same species.
Well, another wrinkle to why this may be an issue now.
All right, hit me up.
Is you said, I believe you said WVU was the one that did the research on this, correct?
They're going to give them a grant.
There you go.
And they're going to give them a grant and have them do
research
their
study. right?
What was it they were going to do? The food and the habitat kind of thing.
That's a research study.
Yeah.
Well, and there's your answer. You just answered why is this happening? There's another wrinkle to it. That people have to look important.
Right.
I've worked in a career, I won't say what it is, where people have to make it look like they're doing something just to look important to the powers that be. So now you're telling me that they need a special research study to look at this, to, you know, and all of a sudden we got to change everything around because somebody in WVU needs to look important. You see what I'm saying?
Let me explain
That's another avenue to this.
Let me tell you where I think the 19 million went. I think it went to WVU, some of it, for either the football or whatever the fuck it is. It went to the school, the university.
Well, we know it didn't go to the goddamn fish.
It didn't go to the fish. So here's the thing. So now WV, I don't know. I'm speculating. You guys get pissed off, whatever. I'm going to tell you straight up, 19 million. But now all of a sudden we're going to have West Virginia University do the research.
How much does that research cost, I wonder?
Right.
19 million.
19 million. That's right. It could be. Hypothetical.
Yes.
Let's just I'm just speculating here. I'm just saying, but we're talking, but I'm thinking, okay, so WV is going to do the research.
Right.
19 million here. It's not really going to stocking. So where's it going? It might go there. I don't know. I mean,
if it was a grant,
I love WV, but
if it's a grant, that 19 million's, I mean, who knows where it's going in the
let's see how much a grant is.
Yeah, for the WVU.
Let's see how much it is. If for them to do the research, let's just do that. Let's see how much it is. If it's like 3 million, if it's 5 million, then let's look back on the paperwork and say, where's that 19 million gone? Because 19 million. Well, the 19 million is going in the federal government, and who knows what goofy program it's going to go into for the federal government. But it's got to come in the state too. So you get some that goes to the federal and then some goes to the state. So how much? I mean, I understand there's got to be maintenance to public land.
State, though. There's no rule that says the federal government has to give the state anything.
No, there's not. But my question is, it's kind of weird, like 19 million. I understand there's maintenance that has to be done on public land and on parks and stuff. Of course, that's a whole different division, right? So we're looking at DNR or the U.S. Wildlife Association, whatever the hell they call themselves. Let's just say DNR. And so where's that money? So you mean to tell me all the money that we have paid for on top of the grants, where the hell is the money?
Well, that's where you need to talk to the state auditor.
I know. We should ask that son of a bitch.
That's pretty much where they'd be able to point it out.
That's what we need to find out. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I just thought of that myself. I was like, so 19 million, it didn't dawn on me. I'm a slow man.
Well, with 19 million, I keep saying it's going back to the federal government. Because again, they're just not giving it a grant, which means they're just keeping it in their pocket. Now, what they do with that $19 million, I don't know where it goes.
But you mean tell me the gov can't just say, wait a minute. No, we're going to make this work. You need to give us some money. He can't.
Well, he can't make the federal government do anything.
No, he can't. I mean,
he has money in the
federal.
bank.
I mean,
they have a rainy day fund over $150 million.
Right.
If they wanted to get the money for the damn fish, they could do it.
They can't.
The question is, do they want to do it? Are they willing to take the extra steps to do it and take it out of the state budget?
Because we need research on krill fish.
Yes.
We need research on mud bugs.
Which it looks like that this is just the federal government doing what it's been doing lately, which is overstepping
corrupt shit. It's
overstepping its bound and using its power to try to dictate what it wants out of a state.
I mean, keep it in mind. I mean, the state government can get a PP smack from the federal anytime they don't have the power unless you're Texas. Then you have the power to like go ape shit, I guess. But the federal government can PP smack the state. The
federal government can just cut fundings to whatever the federal government wants to cut. And the question is, can the state, survive without those funds?
But this is pissing me off because we pay into this shit. We pay into it. So stock the stuff. Quit cutting you know what I mean? Quit cutting how many deer we can harvest, how many turkey we can harvest. We pay into this shit.
It's really simple. What they need to do is they need to set the budget where they don't rely on the federal government for anything.
Shit.
That's what they need to do.
Shit.
They need to because again, as we know, in the state of West Virginia, which is different than other states, they have to balance the budget every year. Unlike the federal government that can just carry a debt for 10 billion years. The state has to be balanced every July 1st. So all the state would have to do is go, look, this is going to be the budget for the DNR stuff. We're not going to take any federal government money. That way they were not relying on any federal government money. And they could set their fees or whatever to accommodate.
They can't do that because they got to pay for Fat Susie who sits behind the desk with her potpourri, heating up her potpourri warmer. That all she does is file in the file cabinet all day long and then sleeps and naps and talks about her, potpourri and her quilting, whatever the hell. We got to pay for those kind of people. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's the thing that annoys the shit out of me. We pay into this shit and now it's like, well, we don't have the money.
Because they didn't budget it.
They didn't budget.
That's what it is. You can cut it any way you want.
So at the end of the year,
it's the state relying on the federal government, which is not a good idea.
It's not.
Don't rely on the federal government.
Is it right for the governor, old Govey? Is it all right for him to start doing a political bullshit on this matter? No, it's not, because you're not doing any good blaming Biden. We all know Biden's a freaking idiot. We know that. And I don't give a shit. Don't bleep me out on this. He's a freaking idiot. We all know that. But quit blaming people for your own mistakes. His own, board
the mistake
or whatever you call it.
The mistake is that they relied on the federal government. Don't budget.
That's not all.
The federal government. That is it.
It's some shady shit going on. I mean,
it's the federal government saying they're not giving you money. Well, it wouldn't matter.
So what?
If you had your own funds, would it matter what the federal government
Where's the money?
It's in the federal government.
For $19 million.
Yes, it's sitting right in their bank.
$19 million.
Yeah. They don't have to give the state the money. The money is in Congress and the federal
apparently
government.
Gave them every 3 years, I read. Every 3 years, they give them $19 million.
Well, they decided they don't want to do it this time.
Right.
And the problem is, again, the money's in the federal government.
But the money that we pay for in hunting and fishing license and conservation, where's that money?
It's obviously budgeted as other stuff, which is why I said don't budget relying on the federal
So why
government.
would you blame Biden for this shit?
Because he cut the funding, which, again, because you relied on the federal government. This is what you get. What's looking to happen?
I'm not staying up for Biden. I'm just saying, why are they bringing political bullshit into hunting and fishing?
Because the bottom line is, if you rely on a different entity, I mean, this is ABC stuff.
I get it.
If anyone relies,
but they might not.
on someone, if anyone relies on someone to give you money, and that's how you're going to live, and then all of a sudden they say, we're not going to give you that money, then you shouldn't have been in that situation where you had to rely on that money.
No shit. But in reality, there's a lot of those situations.
Well, that's why we're here.
Go to the grocery store on first of the month and tell me that.
Exactly.
I don't want to keep it political, but it's the truth.
Well,
we're paying for all these fucktards, that have multiple kids by 3 different daddies. You know what I mean? We're paying for these people. I go to the grocery store. I get a little bit of groceries in my bag. It costs me $80, right? I see this person with 2 buggies full that has pop, chip dip, candy bars, got beer on side. Of course, that card don't cover it. And they get it all from the government. You know what I mean? They get it all. If you're one of those people, fuck you. I work for it. I should literally wait till they ring it out, walk over to their bag and just start picking out shit. I should. And that's our problem anymore. I don't want to get into that, but think about that shit. You brought it up. So I'm going to say, there's people that rely on that bullshit every single day.
And unfortunately, so the state,
apparently our state does the same shit.
When it comes to hunting and fishing, so does our state.
Why?
And that's the question. I know. I mean, I can answer the one easy answer is 2 to 3 years. Well, I'd say maybe 4 to 5 years ago now. Actually,
Big Daddy Federal.
Actually, it'd be almost 8 years now because we've had the governor for 8.
Yeah.
And
has he been there for 8?
Yeah, he's been there for 8. So the first 2 years, he was dealing with a big crisis that Manchin left behind for him.
Oh,
and we had where was no surplus. That was for damn sure. We were broke and in debt and in trouble. And again, because of state law, you have to have a balanced budget every year. They were like 2 days away from a state government shutdown, which has never happened in the state of West Virginia. So to say the least, their budgetary stuff was not good back then. Now, since then, they've obviously budgeted a lot better since we get a surplus every single year in the last 6 years. But again, whoever's doing the budgeting, at least for the wildlife, obviously we wanted to rely on the federal government and grants too much. And again, you should never do that. You should always just be self-sufficient.
Old Govey's going to get with Manchin and I don't even do it.
Okay.
And they're going to sit down.
Justice and Manchin ain't going to go nowhere.
They're not, because they butt heads because they're different political matter.
I can tell you they don't like each other.
Oh, hell no.
I mean, even before, when Justice was a Democrat and they were in the same party, they didn't like each other then. They don't like each other now. And they can say they're going to go talk to each other, but I highly doubt that anything is going to get done out of it just because they don't. I mean, and I'm not just saying politically. I mean, like, personally, they don't like each other. Because there was a long time ago, as I remember when this happened, Manchin's wife this was during the budget crisis. Manchin's wife was like a head of an art thing, right?
Okay.
And what happened was she, threatened to resign over the budget. She said, I'm going to resign if you cut my art program, I'm resigning, and in your face. And this is when Justice was still a Democrat at the time. And he goes, okay, you resign then, you're gone. And then she tried to retract it, like, oh no, I didn't mean it. And he said, no, you sent me the letter, you're fucking gone. And when that happened, obviously that's Manchin's wife. You think they're going to be buddy now? Yeah, fuck, that ain't going to happen.
I know, I get it.
That ain't going to happen.
But back to the thing that really kills me is the species. It's like, well, if it's rainbow trout, they don't eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, these are the stupidest shit. They act like we're stupid. Like we're just dumbass rednecks and have no idea about, different species. That's what pisses me off. Instead of saying, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. Well, we fucked up. It's about the money.
Well, they don't want to do that.
No, but tell the truth.
They don't want to do that because it makes them look bad. Who wants to say, yeah, I didn't budget for the government cutting money and I relied on them like an old, person waiting on Social Security check. And we didn't get that check. So now everybody were fucked. So that's not going to work. They can't say that out loud because especially like you said, it's election year. You think they're going to admit that they did something wrong in the budgeting?
They're not. And that's the sad thing. Here, first it starts with the deer. Then it starts with the trout. God forbid, who knows what the hell's going to happen next? Well, I don't know.
When it happens, we'll be here to talk about it.
Oh, we're going to talk about it. I don't know about you guys, but, here's my thing. Okay, if you're not going to stock, reduce the price of license. Reduce the fucking price of license, because why should I pay more if you're not going to do more? If you're not going to use that money, why should I pay, what is it, $10 or something for a doe stamp? I don't even know. I just buy it all and I'm like, just
how
bring
much
it
is
up.
A fishing license now?
I don't know individual because I buy the sportsman's package.
Right. So
then I buy my additional stamps. So I don't know how much it is individually. But here's the point. It's like, lower the freaking hunt license then and the fishing license. Lower it. If you can't do what you say you're going to use that money for,
if you can't provide a service that you're supposed to be paying for,
right,
then you should lower it. And I understand that point, but the bottom line is it ain't going to happen.
It ain't going to happen because they're greedy sons of bitches. It's government. You never trust a politician. You never trust a lawyer, and you sure as hell don't trust a weatherman. That's the truth. That's the way I go by.
Right.
But here's the thing. My opinion is, don't try to bullshit us, and don't try to bring politics. Once again, we've talked about, don't bring politics into the hunting and the fishing outdoor world, because we don't need that shit. There's too much dumb, retarded shit going on. out there in the world dealing with leaders that have no freaking idea what the hell's up and what's down. You know, it's just bullshit to me. Yep. I think this trout thing, stock the goddamn lakes and the dams and shut up. Because a real fisherman knows that bass, catfish are the ones that eat the crawfish. Yeah. All right. If there's no difference between a brown, golden, rainbow trout. If one species or if a rainbow doesn't eat a crawfish, guess what? The brown trout and the golden trout don't eat the species either. So, case send me the money. Send me $3 million.
Yeah, you can give $3 million.
I just saved your damn problem.
We just did the research for you.
Send me the $3 million. Send me $17 million. I just fixed everything.
I mean, the catfish. You got a monster cat that are the size of you.
They'll just eat the trout.
Yeah.
So then, if we can't stock it, then we won't have trout, and I guess we're screwed. Either way, I mean, that's a win-win situation. Let's add more trout, just like we add more coyotes to deer. Yeah, that's an idea. That's the way to do it. I'll tell you what, you want to know how to fix things? That's the way to do it. Just add something bigger and badder. Add sharks to the freaking waters or something. I don't know what the hell you're going to do. That's all the time we have for today, folks. I hope you can enjoyed the show. Enjoyed the show. You know, you try to talk and it's
ready
like,
to wrap.
But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Check us out wherever this podcast is broadcast, wherever our social media is. God bless you all. We will see you again. I'm Paul.
I'm Chris.
Later, Gator.
Next time.
Thank you for watching this episode of Timber Talk. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We look forward to seeing you all again in the next video.